Hey guys, Kepler here. We're going to be working on striking today, where I've prepared 100 shots to help you finish chances more consistently. Let's get into it. Before we get into the training packs themselves, I want to show you various techniques. At the higher levels, you'll need to develop a variety of striking techniques and be able to do it consistently. For example here, I purposefully jump a little off target and then use the dodge to adjust and score. Not cleanly, but it's good enough to score. That's a very game-like situation and will help you perform better at matches. Of course, there are tons of different techniques, but I'll show you a few common ones that you can use in your own practice. Here we have the front flip with the flip cancel. That's where you pull the stick down right after you dodge. We have the side flip, and that's using the corner of the car to generate a lot of power. Next up, you can use the diagonal flip with the corner of the car, generates a lot of power. Sometimes your angle to the ball isn't that great, and so you have to use a side of the car shot with a side flip to generate that power. You can arrow sideways and flip cancel. You can go upside down, and this one generates a lot of power and lift. You can double jump at the moment of contact, and that can glance it on top of the car to lift it, or you can generate power using the nose. You can even half flip or do a backflip shot. There are just so many different techniques, and you just want to mix these into your training. Next, we're going to have to do some setup for PC users. So we're going to go to our little Bakkesmod injector app. We're going to hit File, Open Bakkesmod folder. That'll take us to our Bakkesmod files here. We're going to go to Config, our CFG folder. And we're going to click on binds.cfg and open Notepad. Now, we're going to copy the codes that I have in the description down below. And we're just going to paste them in here. We're going to hit File, Save. We're going to close out, and we're good. Next, we're going to be in Game, and we're going to hit F2. And we're going to go to our Bindings tab, and you should see those codes loaded in here. And then we'll go to Custom Training. Make sure we turn on Enable Custom Training Variants. And then we're going to close out that. We're going to hit F7 because that's the code we're going to use today. And it's going to update to 64 boost. So we're also going to use the goal blocker. I'm just going to draw some rectangles on the sides of the goal. So those are areas that which we can score. The middle is going to be blocked. And we're going to use that for pack 1. Now we're going to go to the custom training browser. And I'm going to click on favorites. Here's my packs. Those are the codes. Those codes are in the description. And once you've copied them, you can go to Browse, enter code, paste them in here. And this is the one for striking 1. And we're going to start with this one first. This one starts with F7, so that means we're going to have 64 boost, and we're going to have the goal blocker there, and the middle is going to be blocked. Now we'll get into the shot demonstrations. I'll provide commentary here and there and provide some advice, but this isn't really meant to be a full-fledged tutorial. The arrow long shots video I made several years ago, which is in the striking and rebounds playlist, goes more into depth about how to generate power in your shots. I'd recommend watching that to understand the physics of a shot a little better. Now, striking has been a weakness in my game recently, so practicing these packs has helped build my sharpness and made me more clinical in matches. Especially with my camera settings, the car is really small, so I have to work extra hard to make sure I'm performing at a decent level. Realistically, you might get a shot like this once or twice a game. Most likely, when that chance comes, there's keepers blocking half the net. So you need to have confidence in your power and precision. That's why we train like this with the goal blocker. In the first pack, we're mostly emphasizing volleys, just hitting the ball before it hits the ground, like this one. A shot like that is incredibly hard to do. It's like you have to get your arrow right, your turn, your boost, everything has to be perfect so that you can strike it cleanly. But pros like apparently Jack and Monkey Moon are so good at doing these fundamentals, and that's partly why they have such an impact on winning. After all, goals are going to win you games. Also, you might not be striking and scoring goals every game, but you'll be using basic arrows with a dodge 10 to 20 times a game. So getting your striking right is going to lead to good passing, good clears, not just your finishing. So working on these packs will really help impact your overall performance. One thing I want to point out on these shots is you'll want to work on your arrow shot the most. That's where you're jumping up, doing a slight bit of arrow like this, is striking with the corner of the car. That's the quickest way to generate power, and it's something you'll see pros do over and over. It's a bread and butter technique, and it's something you should master before you move on to anything else.
It's yummy time.
Here's a couple ways to approach a shot where you kind of have to turn in the air. There's a normal arrow shot, and here's one where I twist around the ball using directional arrow. It's something you can do when the ball's moving away from the goal and you need to get around it, but you can't turn on the ground. Here's a few techniques for rebounds. This one I'm air rolling into the ball to generate some power. Tough read like this, I fly sideways, and I'm able to hit it with the side of my car. And here I fly sideways and then I dip my nose down hitting it with the corner, and that generates a lot of power. A few different ways you can approach that. Now I've coached a lot of lower level players, and one thing I noticed is that they don't have the ability to use their dodge at higher heights. This is particularly true from Platinum to GC1. Give them a power shot or a low aerial then dodge, they'll get it every time. At crossbar height, they're usually just double jumping when they could be using a dodge. This is something you should try to optimize, because a double jump is not going to get you enough power on most volleys, especially when you're dealing with a lot of recoil.
Remember this feeling, remember this energy, and remember that you asked. I'm so excited.
It's yummy time.
So now we're in pack 2, it's using F7, same as the last pack, but I made the goal zone just the top half of the goal, or a little more than half, and we're going to work on getting height. Now this is something you may struggle with. Accurate top shelf finishes are pretty tough, but they're probably the most effective against keepers, since they'll usually sit on the ground. So anything that bounces in front of net or is struck along the ground is easy to save. This just puts it out of their reach. So I mentioned at the beginning of the video, doing an upside down aerial like this can help you generate some height and some power. So this is something you want to try testing out in this section when you have the goal blocker on the ground. Here's a classic ones or twos type shot where you're shooting off the power slide. If you want some more repetitions on those kind of finishes, definitely use my one shot pack. That's in my long and aerial shots tutorial. On this double jump aerial, notice how I'm just using the corner of the car to arrow the shot in. This is something you'll get a feel for, but it's something most pros can do. Here's Extra and BDS doing it here. Monkey Moon is probably the best in the world at doing it. He's just so efficient with his aerials, and even though he has to make a mid-air adjustment, knows how to slot that one in. Same thing here. Gets the lineup and hits it with the side of the car that time. And on this one, you can see, even though he doesn't score, he really tests the defense, generates so much power from a nothing aerial. So as we approach the back half of these shots, I do want to talk about developing your mechanics and muscle memory. This is something that's well studied in sports science. It's called motor skills learning over there. Given the example of a goalkeeper in football/soccer, you could have a machine fire the same shot over and over at a keeper. Or you can have a person hit the ball off a surface and give you a random rebounding shot each time. In terms of performance increase and game readiness, the second approach is actually better because it provides more mental images of a similar situation. This is where the variation in these shots are going to help improve your own striking performance. Normal custom training, if you think about it, has no variation, no momentum when you reset the shot, but the custom training settings here provide more scenarios, even when you just reset the shot. It provides more mental images of a situation, and so you're going to be able to adapt better to a new and unique one. That's the best way to train mechanics, like fundamental mechanics like striking and rebounds. So you can even go into F2 custom training and increase some of the shot parameters like variation and shot trajectory. The more you do that, the more game-like the practice. So that's going to end this video. I hope to see you all sink more shots, score more goals, win more games, and rank up. Thanks for watching, and peace.